How's it going, dog trainers? I was just in the kitchen and I was doing some dishes actually, and I was just thinking about when people would bring their dogs into my facility for an evaluation, and they would tell me the dog's already trained, the dog has a lot of training in them already, which reminded me that I should mention this to you guys. It's a tip that, and maybe you know it already, maybe you haven't thought about it, but you should always have the owner demonstrate what the dog does before you touch the leash. Because if they come in and they say, oh, my dog's reactive or this or that, and you say, well, let me take the leash and see what I can do, and you start heeling the dog around, and then you come back and they say, oh yeah, my dog already does that. I've already done training. I mean, the dog does heel, sit down. You know, you never establish a baseline, because chances are the dog did it because of your relationship with the dog and the direction you were giving the dog, and it has very little to do with anything that happened before you took the leash. But in order to get them to understand that, if they say, oh, my dog already heels fine, okay, good, come on out, come into the facility I had there, and I'd say come into the training space, do me a favor, I just want you to start heeling up and down, go across the room heeling. And you want to see what the hell the dog is going to do. I mean, quite often they get a tight leash, they're holding the dog next to them, they're saying heel, 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 walking along, and the dog is looking over his shoulder and not paying attention to them. I mean, that's pretty typical stuff, you know. But you need to establish that baseline so that you can say, okay, I see what you have going on, and then you want to explain to them what your definition of heeling is and the criteria that you expect from the dog when you're teaching it, the loose leash, the positioning, all that stuff. And then you say, now let me take the dog and I'm going to see if I can move him around a little bit. And you're trying to get the dog to walk around, obviously, on a loose leash, and ideally in that heel position to the best you can in that short evaluation time that you have. But you need to be able to show them something different than what they're doing, so that if they're going to do some training with you, you can say, okay, here's the base, this is like where we started, here's your baseline, and we want to show you how we get to here. So hopefully I'm making that clear. And if they come out and say we've done a bunch of training, and they come out and just start doing tricks, they went to a trick class, acknowledge the tricks and say, hey, great job, looks good, you know, dog's very motivated. If that's the case, you know, you want to be complimentary of the work they've already done. Also, they have a relationship with their dog. If they've done that kind of stuff, they love their dog, they're very proud of their dog, and you want to be on their side. It's not this adversarial thing where, oh no, your dog sucks, I can do it better. You know, it's not, obviously it's not about that kind of stuff. But even if you don't say it, if you think it, it can come across like that you're judging them. And I'm not judging them. I just really need to see what the hell their dog is doing. Because if you have someone come into your place that says, oh yeah, my dog does heel, sit down, boom, 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 and goes out there and the dog kicks ass, I tell them, I don't know what I can do for you. The dog looks good. And they'll say, oh, well, the dog just blows up at these random times. I can't fix that. I mean, that's a relationship thing between the person and the dog. Obviously, they put a lot of time into their obedience. I would probably be inclined to start changing all the training tools on that dog. If they're walking around in a pinch collar, I'd maybe get them in a gentle leader. I would do something. We'd have to totally turn that dog's head upside down, and the relationship of the owner and that dog has to change if the dog is just randomly lunging at shit and they feel 99% of the time the dog is great. Typically, I won't even take their money, because I can't make perfect. Anyone that says my dog is great 99% of the time, I tell them I don't make perfect. I make a lot of progress. I can make great improvements. My dogs aren't perfect. I've never owned a perfect dog. So I can't help you in that, you know, with closing the gap on that 1%. And when I say that, they usually soften up a little bit, but that's the reality. You know, I mean, if they're saying my dog is freaking great in everything is great except this one little thing, and I can never really put my finger on when it's going to happen, what the hell are you going to do for him? You know, maybe you can do something for him. That was more than I wanted to get involved in, because guarantee it's going to keep happening, you know. So anyway, I hope that helps you. And the takeaway from this video, long story short, before you take the leash, have them go out and demonstrate what they claim their dog can do so that you can evaluate it. And if their dog is perfect, then ask them, you know, what the heck, what is it that you need me to do? But you don't have to worry about that. There's no perfect dogs. more often than not, there's going to be a lot of room for improvement. And you want to congratulate them on their effort. Say, yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's room for improvement, but I can see what you've been doing. I can see you've done some work with the dog, you know? And then take the dog and make it look better. That's how you sell dog training, guys. Anyway, I hope that helps. Peace. I'll talk to you later.